Close your eyes, if you wish, and let your mind drift to a time far removed from the warmth of your present moment. Imagine yourself stepping into a world of frost and shadow, where the air is sharp with cold and the weight of history presses gently against your thoughts. Tonight, we embark on a quiet journey through the life of a young Soviet sniper during the Second World War, a life shaped by duty, survival, and the relentless rhythm of a world at war. This is not a tale of grand heroics or sweeping victories, but a soft, deliberate exploration of one young man's existence woven into the fabric of a nation's struggle. We'll walk through the frozen fields of his youth, the harsh training that molded him, the silent moments of the front lines, and the echoes of a life forever changed. Let the words wash over you, like a gentle tide, carrying you deeper into history and closer to rest. Our story begins in a small village buried under the snows of a Soviet winter, where a boy of 17 stands on the edge of a life he cannot yet comprehend. From there, we'll trace his path, through the crucible of war, step by unhurried step, until we reach the quiet aftermath of a world reshaped. Each segment of this journey, recruitment and training, life on the front, the moral toll of survival, and a shadow of peace will unfold slowly, with the steady cadence of a heartbeat, inviting you to listen, to imagine, and perhaps to drift. If you're awake, let the details paint a picture. If you're slipping towards sleep, let the rhythm carry you. Either way, you're here in this moment, and the past is ready to unfold. So, settle in, let the world fade just for now, and imagine yourself standing on a frozen path, the crunch of snow beneath your feet, the faint whistle of wind in your ears. This is where we begin. Imagine yourself in a small, snow-draped village in the Soviet Union, sometime in the winter of 1941. The world beyond the wooden fences is vast and unknowable. But here, life moves to the rhythm of survival. The air is thick with the scent of pine and smoke, curling from chimneys into a sky heavy with grey clouds. A young man, barely 17, stands at the edge of his family's small home. His name is Ivan, though it could be any name, for he is one of countless others drawn into the great churn of war. His frame is slight, his cheeks hollow from months of scarce harvests, his eyes bright but wary. He wears a patched coat, too thin for the biting cold, and boots that have long since lost their soles to the mud and frost. In his hand, he clutches a small bundle of few pieces of bread, a warm scarf, a photograph of his mother and older brother, taken in a time when smiles were easier. Ivan does not choose this moment. It chooses him. The war, a distant rumble until now, has crept closer, its shadow falling over the village like a frost that never thaws. The Red Army needs bodies, soldiers, to fill the ranks depleted by the relentless advance of the German war machine. A week ago, a truck rolled into the village square, its engine coughing in the cold, and a man in a heavy greatcoat called out names from a crumpled list. Ivan's name was among them. There was no ceremony, no farewell. His mother stood in the doorway, her hands clasped tightly, her face a mask of silence. She held a letter, yellowed and creased, the last words from Ivan's older brother, who had marched off to years prior and never returned. The neighbors watched from their windows, their gazes distant, as if looking at a ghost. No one spoke. The only sound was the crunch of Ivan's boots on the icy path as he climbed into the truck. The canvas flap closing behind him like a curtain on his childhood. The journey to the training camp is a blur of cold and discomfort. Imagine yourself in that truck, the wooden bench hard beneath you, the air heavy with the smell of diesel and unwashed bodies. The other recruits, boys and men, some younger than Ivan, some old enough to be fathers, sit in silence, their breath visible in the dim light filtering through the canvas. The truck rattles over frozen roads, each jolt a reminder of the distance growing between Ivan and the life he knew. He thinks of his mother's hands, rough from years of kneading dough, and the way she hums softly while working in the kitchen. He tries to hold on to that sound, but it fades against the drone of the engine and the low murmurs of the others. Hunger gnaws at his stomach, a familiar ache, but there is no food. Only the promise of training and a purpose he does not yet understand. The camp when they arrive is no refuge. They call it the pit, though no one explains why. It sprawls across a barren stretch of land, surrounded by skeletal trees and fields of untouched snow. The barracks are little more than wooden shells, their walls thin against the wind, their floors damp with melted snow tracked in by countless boots. Ivan steps out of the truck, his breath catching as the cold bites deeper than he expected. A sergeant, his face weathered like old leather, barks orders in a voice that carries no warmth. The recruits are herded into lines, their names checked against another list, their belongings inspected and discarded if deemed unnecessary. Ivan's scarf is allowed to stay, but the photograph is tucked away in his pocket, hidden from prying eyes. He feels the weight of it there, a small anchor to a world he fears he may never see again. Training begins at dawn, though the sun barely rises in these winter months, casting a pale, grey light over the camp. Imagine yourself standing in that light, your hands numb, your feet aching in boots that are too tight or too loose. The recruits are given rifles old Mosin Nagants, their woodstocks scratched and darkened, their bolts stiff with age. Ivan's rifle feels heavy in his hands, its barrel cold against his fingers. He notices a name carved into the stock, faint but legible, Sergei. He wonders who Sergei was, whether he held this rifle with pride or fear, whether he still lives. The sergeant does not give him time to wonder long. "This is your life now," he says, his voice flat. "Learn it or lose it." The training is not about skill, not at first. It is about endurance, about stripping away the softness of civilian life and forging something harder, something that can survive the front. Ivan learns to march in the snow, his legs burning with each step, his boots sinking into drifts that reach his knees. He learns to lie flat in the cold, his body pressed against the frozen ground, the damp seeping through his coat. The instructors shout commands, their voices cutting through the wind, but Ivan quickly learns that questions are not welcome. A boy named Dmitri, barely 16, asks why they have no blankets. The next morning, Dmitri is gone. No one speaks of him, but Ivan sees the empty bunk and feels a chill that has nothing to do with the weather. Food is scarce, a thin gruel of barley or potatoes, sometimes a crust of bread that tastes of sawdust. Hunger is a constant companion, a dull ache that Ivan learns to ignore. He shares his bread with a recruit named Pavel, a weary boy from a neighboring village who speaks little but smiles often. One night, Pavel does not wake. The cold has claimed him, his body stiff and still in the bunk beside Ivan's. The instructors remove him before dawn, and Ivan hears the crunch of snow as they carry him away. He does not cry, though he wants to. Instead, he wraps his scarf tighter and focuses on the rhythm of his breath in and out. A small act of defiance against the cold. The rifle becomes Ivan's focus, his purpose. He learns to clean it, to oil the bolt until it moves smoothly, to align the sights with a target 100 meters away. The instructors teach him to shoot from a prone position, his elbows digging into the snow, his breath held to steady his aim. The first time he fires, the recoil jars his shoulder, and the sound echoes in his ears long after the shot fades. He misses the target, a wooden board painted with a crude silhouette. The sergeant does not shout, only points to the ground and says again. Ivan lies down, his body aching, and tries again and again. The rhythm of it load, aim, fire becomes a kind of meditation, a way to shut out the hunger, the cold, the fear. But Ivan does not choose to become a sniper. That choice is made for him, in a test he does not know he is taking. One day, the recruits are led to a field where targets are set at varying distances, some close, some so far they are barely visible. Ivan's shots are steady, not perfect, but consistent. He does not think much of it until a new officer, his coat cleaner than the others, watches him through narrowed eyes. "You," the officer says, pointing at Ivan, "you're with the sharpshooters." Ivan does not understand what this means, not yet. He only knows that he is separated from the others, moved to a smaller group where the training grows even harder. The sharpshooter training is a world of precision and patience. Imagine yourself lying in the snow for hours, your body stiff, your fingers numb around the rifle. The instructors teach Ivan to observe, to wait, to breathe in time with the wind. They teach him to read the landscape the way snow piles against a fence, the angle of a shadow, the faint trail of footprints that might betray an enemy. They teach him to blend into the earth, to become invisible, to move without sound. It is grueling, Relentless, but Ivan finds a strange comfort in the routine. The rifle, with its carved name and its weight, becomes an extension of himself. He learns to trust it, to rely on it, in a way he can no longer rely on people. Death is a constant presence in the camp, though it comes quietly, without fanfare. A recruit named Yuri falls ill, his coughs echoing through the barracks at night. One morning, his bunk is empty. Another boy, caught stealing bread, is sent to a punishment detail and does not return. Ivan learns not to ask questions, not to linger on the faces that disappear. He learns to focus on the rhythm of survival: clean the rifle, eat the gruel, sleep when allowed, march when ordered. He learns to shut out the memories of home, of his mother's voice, of the photograph in his pocket. He learns to be alone. By the time training ends, Ivan is not the boy who left his village. His hands are calloused, his eyes sharper, his heart quieter. The rifle, with its carved name, is his only companion. He does not know where he will be sent, only that the front awaits, a place spoken of in whispers, a place where survival is measured not in years but in moments. As he boards another truck, the canvas flap closing behind him, he feels the weight of the rifle across his knees and the photograph in his pocket. The road ahead is long, the air cold, the future uncertain. But for now, he breathes, and the truck carries him forward into the abyss. Picture yourself descending from a shuddering truck, its engine coughing into silence as the cold air wraps around you like a heavy cloak. The ground beneath your boots is a patchwork of frozen mud and snow, crunching softly with each step, a sound that feels louder than it should in the stillness. You are Ivan, no longer the boy who left his village, but not yet the man the war will forge. The training camp, with its endless marches and the weight of a rifle etched with another's name, feels like a distant memory, though it was only weeks ago. Now you stand at the edge of the front, a place spoken of in hushed tones where the world is broken, and life is measured in moments of quiet between the shots. The city before you is a ghost of itself, its buildings reduced to jagged ruins, their walls scarred with bullet holes, their roofs collapsed under the weight of winter. The air carries the scent of charred wood and wet stone, tinged with a heavier note, something metallic and final that lingers in your throat. You are not alone, though the front will teach you the weight of solitude. You are paired with Misha, a veteran sniper whose left arm ends abruptly, a silent scar of battles past, his sleeve pinned neatly against his coat. His face is weathered, his eyes sharp but distant, as if he looks not at the ruins but at the shadows of those who came before. He does not speak of his life before the war, and you learn quickly that questions are not welcome. He hands you a tin mug, the tea inside barely warm, its faint bitterness a fleeting comfort against the cold that seeps through your threadbare coat. He points to a shattered building. Across the street, its windows empty, its walls leaning as if tired of standing. That is your post, he says, his voice low like the rustle of snow falling from a branch. You follow him, your boots slipping on icy cobblestones, your rifle slung across your back. Its familiar weight a strange anchor in this unfamiliar world. The building is a husk, its floors strewn with broken glass and plaster, its air thick with the smell of damp and decay. You climb the creaking stairs, each step a reminder of the fragility of this place, and settle into a corner where a partial wall shields you from the wind. Misha shows you how to arrange your gear, how to drape a tattered blanket over a gap in the wall to hide your shadow, how to rest your rifle on a pile of broken bricks. He teaches you to watch, to wait, to let the world unfold before you. The front is not what you imagined. There is no roar of battle, no chaos of clashing armies. Instead, there is silence, a heavy, oppressive silence that presses against your ears, broken only by the occasional crack of a distant rifle or the faint drone of a plane high above. You lie on the cold stone floor, your body pressed against the ground, your eyes scanning the street below through a narrow slit in the wall. Misha lies beside you, his breathing steady, his single hand resting lightly on his rifle. He points to a flicker of movement in the distance, a shadow among the ruins, and you feel your heart quicken. Not yet, he says, his voice calm, and you learn that patience is your greatest weapon. Hours pass, or perhaps days, the grey light of winter blurring time into a single, endless moment. Hunger is your constant companion, a dull ache in your stomach that you learn to ignore. Food is scarce as shed potato, its skin tough and earthy, or a piece of bread so dry it crumbles in your hands. You savor each bite, letting it linger, imagining it is something more. Perhaps the stew your mother made with beets and cabbage. Its warmth filling the kitchen of your childhood. But the memory fades, replaced by the cold that numbs your fingers. The ache in your shoulders from holding the rifle, the weight of the silence. Misha teaches you the art of the sniper, not just to aim and fire, but to see the world differently. He shows you how to read the wind by the way snow drifts against a broken fence, how to judge distance by the angle of a shadow, how to spot the faint glint of a helmet or the careless movement of a man. He teaches you to breathe slowly, to let your heartbeat settle, to align the rifle's sights with a precision that feels almost sacred. Your first shot is a German messenger, a young man running across an open street, his coat flapping, his breath a cloud in the cold air. You hesitate, your finger trembling on the trigger, the weight of the moment pressing against your chest. Misha's voice is steady beside you. Now, he says, and you fire. The rifle kicks against your shoulder, the sound sharp in the silence, and the messenger falls. His helmet rolling across the snow, a dark stain spreading beneath him. You feel a wave of sickness, your stomach twisting, and you turn away, retching onto the floor. Misha does not look at you. He peels a potato with a small knife, its blade catching the dim light, and eats in silence. Later, you see the messenger's papers scattered in the snow, letters that will never reach their destination, and you wonder if he had a family, a mother who waits as yours does. The thought lingers, a weight you cannot shake. Misha's voice cuts through it. Survive. He says, that is all. You nod, though the words feel hollow. The days stretch on, each one a repetition of waiting, watching, firing. You learn to move silently, to crawl through the ruins without disturbing the snow, to blend into the shadows of broken walls. You learn to ignore the cold that cracks your skin, the hunger that dulls your thoughts, the fear that whispers in the quiet moments. You see others fall, comrades whose names you barely know, their bodies left in the snow, claimed by the cold or the scavengers who move in the night. One is Oleg, a young recruit who spoke of becoming a teacher, his voice soft with dreams of books and classrooms. You shared a cigarette with him once, the smoke curling between you in the frosty air. One night, he falls asleep in a corner of the ruin, his breath shallow, his face pale. By morning, he is gone, his body stiff with cold. You take his gloves, not because you want to, but because your own hands are raw and bleeding. You do not speak of him, and neither does Misha. The gloves become part of you, a piece of Oleg carried forward, a reminder that survival comes at a cost. The front is a world of contrasts, of silence and sudden violence, of fleeting camaraderie and endless solitude. You share what little you have with Misha's sip of bitter tea, a crust of bread, a moment of warmth in the shelter of a wall, but your thoughts are your own. You think of the messenger, of the helmet rolling in the snow, of the photograph in your pocket, its edges worn from your touch. You think of your mother, her hands clasped in silence as you left, and you wonder if she still waits. The war does not care for your thoughts. It demands action, precision, survival. You fire again and again, each shot a step further from the boy you were. You do not count the lives you take, though their faces linger in the quiet moments, shadows in the corners of your mind. Misha watches you, his eyes unreadable, and you wonder if he sees the same ghosts. You learn to live in the silence, to find comfort in the rhythm of waiting, watching, firing. The city is a graveyard, its streets empty, but for the shadows that move in the distance. You hear the wind, the creak of a broken shutter, the faint crunch of snow underfoot. You hear your own heartbeat, steady now, in time with the rifle's rhythm. You are becoming something new, something the war demands, though you do not yet know what that is. The front teaches you that life is fragile, that death comes quietly, that survival is a habit formed in the cold. You learn to sleep in snatches, your body curled against the stone, your rifle close, its weight a constant comfort. You learn to wake at the slightest sound, to scan the darkness for movement, to trust the instincts burned into you during training. You learn to be invisible, to be patient, to be the shadow that waits. Misha's your guide, his presence a steady anchor, his words few but heavy. He does not speak of hope or victory, only of the next moment, the next shot, the next breath. You cling to his lessons, to the routine that keeps you alive. The city changes around you, its ruins shifting with each snowfall, each bombardment, but your task remains the same. You watch a street where a German patrol moves, their steps cautious, their helmets catching the pale light. You fire, and one falls, his comrades scattering like leaves in the wind. You do not feel the nausea now, only a dull ache, a sense of inevitability. Misha nods, a rare gesture of approval, and you feel a flicker of pride quickly smothered by the silence. The front is not just a place but a state of being, a world where time is measured in heartbeats, where survival is a rhythm you learn by rote. You move to a new post, a different ruin with the same broken walls, the same cold stone. You learn the city's secrets, where the snow hides a sniper's nest, where a shadow betrays a careless step. You learn to read Misha's silences, to know when he is watching you, when he is watching the world. You share a potato one evening, its warmth a small defiance against the cold, and he tells you of a river he once fished, its waters clear and cold. It is the most he has ever said, and you hold the story like a treasure, a glimpse of the man he was before the war. The front changes you, day by day, shot by shot. You are no longer the boy who hesitated, who retched at the sight of a fallen enemy. You are something else, a shadow among the ruins, a breath held in the silence. The rifle, with its carved name, is your constant, its weight a reminder of those who came before, those who did not survive. You wonder if your name will be carved somewhere, one day, or if you will simply vanish, like the others who have fallen. The thought does not frighten you as it once did. It is part of the rhythm now, part of the silence. You learn to live with the ghosts, with the faces that linger in the snow. You learn to carry the weight of each shot, each life taken, each moment survived. The front is your world, its silence your home, its cold your companion. You do not know how long you will stay here, how long you will survive, but you know that the war is not done with you. There are darker moments to come, choices that will test the edges of your soul, losses that will carve their own scars. For now, you lie in the ruins, your rifle steady, your eyes scanning the snow. Misha is beside you, his breath a faint cloud in the cold air, his presence a quiet reassurance. You wait, as you have learned to do, for the next shadow, the next moment, the next breath. This segment has carried you through the frozen streets of the front, where Ivan learned the art of survival in silence, where each shot was a step away from the boy he was, a step toward something harder, something shaped by the war's unyielding demands. In the next segment, we will follow him deeper into the heart of the conflict, where the weight of his actions grows heavier, where the line between duty and despair blurs, and where the cost of survival becomes a wound that does not heal. Picture yourself lying in the crumbled remains of a once proud city, the air heavy with the scent of frost-bitten earth and the faint, acrid tang of smoke that lingers like a memory that refuses to fade. You are Ivan, no longer the boy who left his village with a photograph tucked in his pocket, nor the young man who learned the art of silence beside Misha in the frozen ruins. The front has reshaped you, its lessons etched into the calluses on your hands, the sharpness of your gaze, the quiet spaces where your heart once beat with hope. The rifle, its wooden stock worn smooth and marked with the name Sergei, is your constant companion, its weight a reminder of the lives it has claimed, the lives you have taken in the name of duty. The city around you is a maze of shattered stone and twisted iron, its streets blanketed in snow, its shadows hiding both friend and foe, each corner a testament to the war's relentless hunger. The winter has deepened, its cold seeping into your bones, numbing your fingers, clouding your breath in the air before you. You are a sniper now, your name murmured among the ranks, though the recognition brings no warmth, only a heavier burden. Each kill is a mark on your soul, not a tally scratched on paper, but a flicker of a face glimpsed through the rifle S-sights, a shadow falling silently in the snow. Officers, their faces half hidden by fur hats, praise your precision, their voices clipped and distant, as if speaking to a tool rather than a man. They pin a badge to your coat, its metal cold against the threadbare fabric, and call you a hero. But the word is hollow, echoing in the empty spaces of the ruins around you. You do not shoot for glory, nor for hatred of the enemy across the lines. You shoot because it is your purpose, because hesitation means death not just yours, but those who depend on the steady aim of your rifle. Misha remains at your side, his presence a quiet anchor, though his silences have grown longer, his eyes more distant, as if he searches for something lost. In the snow, you share a piece of bread one evening. It's crust-hard and tasteless, and he speaks of a river he once knew, its waters cold and clear, where he fished as a boy. The story is brief, a fleeting glimpse of the man he was before the war claimed his arm, his warmth, his past. You hold the image in your mind, a small light against the darkness, but it fades quickly. Swallowed by the cold that wraps around you like a shroud, the front is changing, the war tightening its grip like a fist around your chest. A new figure enters your world, a political officer named Victor, his coat to clean for the mud, and blood of the front, his eyes sharp with a suspicion that cuts deeper than the winter wind. He moves among the snipers, his notebook always open, his pen scratching observations, names, moments of doubt. You feel his gaze on you, heavy and unyielding, and you sense the shift in the air, the way your comrades' eyes avoid yours, their trust fraying under the weight of his scrutiny. Victor speaks of loyalty, of discipline, of the motherland's demands, but his words are cold, like the ice that forms on the edges of your rifle. You nod, you obey, but you feel the distance growing between the boy you were and the man you are becoming, a man shaped by fear as much as duty. Amid this tension, a new presence brings a flicker of warmth like a candle in the dark. Her name is Kotya, a sniper like you, her movements precise, her eyes bright with a spark that seems to defy the war's grey weight. She is older, perhaps 20, her dark hair tucked beneath a wool cap, her hands steady as she polishes her rifle with a cloth worn thin. She speaks of life before the war, her voice soft and measured, weaving stories of sausages crackling in a pan, their scent filling a kitchen of red shoes she wore to a village dance, their heels clicking on a wooden floor. You listen, drawn to the rhythm of her words, the way they paint a world you can barely remember. One day, you share a post with her, lying side by side in a crumbling attic, the air thick with dust and the faint smell of mold. Through a hole in the roof, she points to a star, its light faint but unwavering, and says it reminds her of home, of nights spent watching the sky with her sister. You want to ask more, to hold on to this moment of connection, but the war allows no such luxury. Kotya is skilled, her shots cleaner than yours, her patience a match for Misha's, her instincts honed by months in the ruins. She teaches you to adjust for the wind's subtle shifts, to read the snow's patterns, to trust the quiet voice within you that knows when to fire. For a moment, you feel less alone, as if the war might allow something human to endure, a fragile thread of hope woven through the cold. But the war is merciless, its lessons carved in loss. One morning, as you scan the street below, a shot cuts through the silence, sharp and final. Kotya slumps beside you, her body sliding against the wall, her scarf falling to reveal a face already still. Her eyes open to the sky she loved. You pull the scarf over her face, your hands shaking, unable to meet the gaze that no longer sees. The bullet was not meant for you, but it pierces you all the same. A wound that does not bleed but aches in the quiet moments. You sit in the attic, the rifle heavy in your hands, the star above hidden by clouds, its light as lost as Kotya's voice. Misha finds you later, his expression unreadable, and says only, "Move on." You do, because you must, but her stories linger. The image of red shoes dancing in a world you cannot reach. The war demands more of you now, its weight heavier with each passing day, each loss of stone added to the burden you carry. Victor's presence grows, his notebook a constant threat, his eyes following you like a predator tracking prey. He speaks of deserters, of those who falter, of the need to protect the motherland at all costs. The orders come, delivered in a voice as cold as the snow, and they are a weight you cannot escape. You are to shoot not only the enemy, but your own comrades if they retreat without permission, if they show weakness, if they break the line. The words settle in your chest, a cold stone that chokes your breath. You want to refuse, to cast the rifle aside. But Misha's eyes meet yours, and you see the truth there. Survival is not a choice, but a command, and disobedience is a death sentence. The first time you obey, it is a boy younger than you, his coat too large, his steps stumbling as he turns from the line, his eyes wide with fear. You aim, your breath held, your heart silent, and fire. He falls, a photograph slipping from his hand. Landing in the snow, a small face, a girl, perhaps a sister, staring up at you with eyes you cannot meet. You feel the world shift, a piece of you breaking away, slipping into the snow with him. You fire twice more that week, each shot a wound you inflict on yourself. Each face a shadow added to the ghosts that follow you. The boy's photograph remains, its edges sharp in your memory, a reminder of the line you have crossed. You are praised again, your name written on a paper that bears a mistake, your brother's name, not yours, as if you are already erased. A shadow in the war's machinery. The badge on your coat grows heavier, its metal a cold weight against your chest, a symbol of a duty that has consumed you. You move through the ruins, your steps silent, your rifle steady, but you are not the same. Misha is there, but his silences are deeper now, his eyes avoiding yours, as if he sees the change in you and cannot bear it. You wonder if he has faced these orders, if he has carried this burden, but you do not ask. The war has taught you that questions bring no answers, only more ghosts to haunt the quiet moments. You sleep less now, your dreams filled with faces, courtiers, the boys, the messengers, all blending into a single shadow that moves through the snow. You clean your rifle, the ritual a tether to the life you know, the oil's sharp scent a reminder of the front's rhythm. The city shifts around you, its ruins reshaped by snow and shelling, but your task remains unchanged. You watch, you wait, you fire, each shot a step further from the boy you were, a step deeper into the war's embrace. You think of Kotya's star, of the red shoes she spoke of, and you wonder if such things can still exist in a world so broken. You think of your mother, her hands clasped in silence as you left, and you wonder if she would know you now, if she would see the boy she raised or the shadow you have become. The war does not care for your thoughts, your memories, your losses. It demands obedience, precision, survival, and you give it what it asks, because the alternative is unthinkable. The front is no longer just a place but a part of you. Its silence woven into your breath, its cold settled in your bones. You are a sniper, a tool of the war's making, a shadow among the ruins. You carry the faces of those you have lost, those you have taken, and you wonder how many more will join them before the war is done. The badge on your coat is a lie, the praise a hollow echo, but you carry them too because you must. The war is not finished with you, its lessons growing darker, its demands heavier with each shot. Each loss, each moment survived. You lie in the ruins, your rifle steady, your eyes scanning the snow, and you feel the weight of it, all the faces, the orders, the silence. Misha's gone now, sent to another post, and you are alone. The silence heavier without his presence. You wait, as you have always waited, for the next shadow, the next shot, the next breath. But you know that the war has changed you, has taken something you cannot name. There are moments still to come, moments that will test the last fragments of your humanity. Moments that will leave scars deeper than any bullet could carve. For now, you breathe, you watch, you survive, but you feel the war's shadow stretching forward into a future you cannot yet see. This segment has carried you through the heart of Ivan's descent, where the war's relentless demands stripped away the last threads of the boy he was, where duty and despair became one, and where the cost of survival became a wound that does not heal. In the next segment, we will follow him beyond the war's end, into a peace that offers no solace, where the ruins of the city give way to the ruins of a life, and where the silence of the front becomes the silence of a soul forever marked by the weight of what he has done. Picture yourself standing on a narrow dirt path, the air soft with the first breath of spring, carrying the faint sweetness of budding grass and the earthy scent of soil warmed by a hesitant sun. You are Ivan, no longer the sniper who lay in wait among the shattered ruins of a city broken by war, no longer the boy who left his village with a photograph tucked in his pocket, and his mother's silent farewell in his heart. The war is over, its thunderous roar faded to a whisper, its battles reduced to shadows that linger in the corners of your mind, as persistent as the frost that once clung to your boots. You carry the weight of those years in your hands, rough and calloused from the rifle's gripping. Your eyes, sharpened by countless hours of scanning snow-covered streets, in your heart quieted by losses that have no name, no shape, but press against you all the same. The world has turned toward peace, or so the voices in the village square proclaim. But you stand on this path, your boots heavy with mud, your coat worn thin at the elbows, a stranger in a land that should feel like home. The village you return to is a ghost of the place you left. Its houses sparse, their walls scarred by shelling or sagging under the weight of neglect, their chimneys cold, no longer trailing smoke into the sky. The fields, once golden with wheat swaying under a summer breeze, are tangled with weeds, their furrows softened by seasons left untended, their promise of harvest forgotten. You walk the path to your family's home, each step a quiet echo of the boy who once ran here, chasing his older brother through the clover, his laughter mingling with the hum of bees and the distant call of a lark. Now the path is silent, the clover choked by thorns, and your brother is a memory. His last letter await in your pocket beside the photograph, its edges worn thin. From years of touch, its image fading, but never forgotten. The house stands, but it is a hollow shell. Its windows dark, their panes cracked or missing. Its door creaking on hinges, rusted by time and rain. Your mother is gone, taken by illness or hunger, or the quiet despair of waiting for sons who never returned. And no one remains to tell you when or how she slipped away. The neighbors, those few who still live among the ruins, offer no greetings, their eyes sliding past you as if you are a spectre, a remnant of a war they wish to bury. You step inside, the air thick with the scent of dust and old wood, the faint trace of smoke from a hearth long. Cold. The kitchen, where your mother once hummed softly, her hands kneading dough for bread that filled the house with warmth, is still. Its table worn smooth by years of use, its chairs empty, their seats sagging. You find a letter in a drawer, its paper yellowed, its words from your brother unopened. Since it arrived years ago, and you slip it beside the photograph, a small act of preservation, for a family that exists now only in your memory. You cannot bring yourself to sleep in the bed, though it stands in the corner, its blanket folded with care, a gesture of hope your mother left behind. Instead, you lie on the floor, your coat spread beneath you, your rifle at your side, its carved namesake a reminder of the life you cannot escape, the life that has become your truth. The war is over, but it lives in you in the way you wake at the faintest creak of the floorboards, your hand reaching for the rifle before your eyes adjust to the dark, in the way you scan the shadows for threats that no longer exist, your instincts honed by years of waiting in the cold. You hear footsteps in the night faint and imagine the echo of comrades' lost courtiers' soft laughter. Oleg's quiet dreams, the boy in the snow with a photograph in his hand of enemies fallen, of a life that no longer fits the shape of the world around you. The village stirs, its rhythm slow and halting as survivors rebuild, as children play in the fields, their laughter sharp against the silence you carry like a cloak. You watch them from the doorway, your hands idle, your heart a quiet stranger in your chest. You try to work, to carry water from the well or mend a fence with borrowed tools, but your hands are those of a sniper, trained for the rifle's precision, not for the plow's weight or the hammer's swing. Your fingers clumsy with anything but the trigger. The villagers speak of peace, of new harvests, of a future bright with promise, but their words are foreign, like a song sung in a language you have forgotten. Their optimism a light you cannot reach. You carry a medal in your pocket, its edges bent, its surface dulled by time and the touch of your fingers. It was given to you in a ceremony you barely recall, a moment of hollow praise for a duty that cost you everything. Koch's voice, bright with stories of red shoes, Misha's silences, heavy with unspoken truths, Oleg's gloves, warm against your frost-bitten hands, the boy in the snow, his photograph staring up at you. The medal is meaningless, a piece of metal that cannot restore what was taken, cannot erase the faces that haunt your dreams, cannot bridge the gap between the man you are and the boy you were. You do not wear it, do not display it, but you cannot discard it, just as you cannot discard the rifle that lies beside you each night, its weight a constant, its carved name a reminder of the cycle you are part of. You clean it daily, the ritual a tether to the life you knew, the oil's sharp scent a bridge to the front's cold rhythm, a comfort in its familiarity. The villagers notice, their glances wary, their whispers soft as they pass by, but you offer no explanations, no words to bridge the distance between you and the world they inhabit. How could you explain the war that lives in your bones, the silence that has become your home, the ghosts that walk with you through the night? Spring deepens, the fields greening under a sun that grows bolder, the air warming with the scent of blossoms and fresh earth, a world stirring to life. You sit by the window, your eyes tracing the horizon. and you feel the contrast sharply, the world's renewal against your own stillness. Its colors vivid while you remain cloaked in gray. You think of Koch's star, the one she showed you through the attic's broken roof. Its light faint but steady, a beacon in the dark. You look for it at night, but the sky is too bright now, the stars hidden by the village's lanterns. Their glow a reminder of a life moving forward without you. You think of Misha, of his single hand peeling a potato, of his voice saying survive, and you wonder where he is. If he too lies on a floor somewhere, listening for footsteps that never come, if he too carries the weight of faces he cannot forget. You think of the boy in the snow, the photograph slipping from his hand, and you wonder who waited for him, who mourns him still, who carries his absence as you carry yours. You do not write letters, though you have paper and a pen that still holds ink. You do not speak to the villagers, though they pass by your door, their voices carrying news of markets, weddings, births. You live in the rhythm of survival. The habits of the front carried into this strange peace. Clean the rifle. Watch the horizon. Listen to the wind as it moves through the trees. Its sound a faint echo of the front's silence. Summer arrives, its warmth heavy, its sunlight bright but distant, like a memory you cannot touch, a dream that belongs to someone else. You walk the paths of your childhood, your boots heavy, your steps silent, as if you are still moving through the ruins of the front, still watching for shadows in the snow. You pass the church, its bell cracked but ringing, a sound that stirs something in you, a flicker of the boy who once knelt there, his mother's hand on his shoulder. You do not step inside, the threshold too far, the faith too distant. You pass the river, its waters clear and cold, and you think of Misha's story of a dog running through fields, of a life before the war claimed everything. You try to imagine yourself there, fishing in the sunlight, the water rippling around your hands, the world simple and whole. But the image fades, replaced by the memory of snow, of silence, of a rifle's kick against your shoulder. Autumn paints the fields in gold and red, the air crisp with the scent of fallen leaves, the horizon softening under a sky heavy with clouds. You sit by the window, the rifle across your lap, and you see the faces courtiers, smiling as she spoke of red shoes. Oleg's pale in the cold, the boys staring up from the snow with a photograph in his hand. They are part of you now, as much as the rifle, as much as the medal, as much as the letter and photograph in your pocket. You do not fear them, not anymore, but you carry them, their weight a constant companion, a reminder of the cost of survival. Winter returns, and with it the cold you know so well, the frost a familiar friend, the snow a canvas for the ghosts that walk with you. You feel at home in it, the chill settling into your bones like an old habit, the silence wrapping around you like a cloak you cannot shed. The village prepares for a festival, its streets lined with lanterns, their warm light flickering against the snow, its air alive with laughter and the scent of bread baking, of meat roasting over open fires. A child runs past, her voice bright, her scarf trailing behind her, and you think of the photograph in the snow, of the face that stared up at you, of the life you ended. You do not join the festival, do not dance or sing, do not taste the bread or warm your hands by the fire. You return to the house, to the floor, to the rifle, its carved name a reminder of the cycle you cannot break, the war you cannot leave behind. The war is over, but it has not left you. It lives in your silence, in your solitude, in the rhythm of your days, as steady and unrelenting as the wind that moves through the empty fields. You are Ivan, but you are also something else, a shadow shaped by the war, a man who survived but does not live, not in the way the world expects, not in the way the villagers do with their laughter and their plans. The world moves forward, its colors bright, its sounds alive, but you remain a ghost in the spring, a shadow in the snow, a man caught in a past that will not release you. You wonder if this is peace, if this is what you fought for, if this is what survival means, a life of watching, waiting, carrying the weight of faces you cannot forget. The world has changed, but you are tethered to the war, its silence your home, its cold your companion. This segment has carried you through Ivan's return to a village that no longer knows him, through a peace that offers no solace, through a life haunted by the war's echoes, and the silence of a soul forever marked by what he has done. In the conclusion, we will reflect on his journey, from the frozen fields of his youth to the quiet ruin of his present, and consider the weight of survival in a world that has moved on, leaving him to walk alone with the shadows of the past. Picture yourself sitting by an open window, the night air cool and soft, carrying the faint scent of dew and distant pine, the world quiet save for the gentle rustle of leaves stirred by a breeze. You are in the present, safe in the warmth of your own space, far from the frozen fields and shattered ruins we have walked through together. But let your mind drift back one last time to Ivan, the boy who became a sniper, the man who survived a war that left its mark on every corner of his soul. His journey began in a village, cloaked in snow, where a mother's silence and a brother's letter marked the start of a path he did not choose. It carried him through the harsh crucible of training where the cold and the rifle became his world, through the silent front lines where each shot was a weight added to his heart, through the dark descent of duty where the war demanded more than he could give, and into a peace that offered no solace, a life haunted by ghosts he could not escape. Ivan's story is not one of triumph or glory, but of survival, of a man shaped by the rhythm of a war that never truly ended for him. Imagine him now, sitting in his empty house, the floor beneath him, the rifle at his side, its carved name Sergei a reminder of a cycle that binds him to the past. The village around him moves forward, its fields greening with spring, its children laughing in the sunlight, its lanterns glowing against the winter snow. But Ivan remains a shadow in the light, his eyes tracing a horizon he cannot reach, his hands holding a medal that means nothing, a photograph that means everything. The war is over, its battles recorded in books, its heroes celebrated in songs, but for Ivan, it lingers in the silence of his nights, in the footsteps he hears in the dark, in the faces that follow him through the seasons. He does not speak of it, does not write of it, does not share the weight. He carries, he cleans his rifle, he watches the sky, he listens to the wind, and in these small acts, he finds a rhythm, a way to move through days that belong to a world he no longer understands. The seasons turn, spring giving way to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter, each one a reminder of the life he once knew, the life he lost. The fields bloom, the river runs clear, the church bell rings, but Ivan is apart. His heart tethered to the snow-covered ruins, to the cold that shaped him, to the silence that became his home. You might wonder what became of him, whether he found peace, whether he ever stepped into the light of the village's renewal. History does not tell us, for Ivan is one of countless shadows, his name unwritten, his story a whisper in the vast tapestry of the war. Perhaps he lived on, a quiet figure in the village, carrying water, mending fences, learning to live with the ghosts that walked with him. Perhaps he wandered, seeking a place where the past did not follow, where the rifle could be set aside, where the faces could fade. Or perhaps he remained in that house, on that floor, the rifle at his side, the photograph in his pocket, waiting for a peace that never came. His story is a thread in the fabric of a war that reshaped the world, a reminder of the cost of survival, of the weight carried by those who returned but could not return fully, the Soviet Union. In those years of fire and ice was a land of sacrifice, its people bound by duty, by loss, by the unrelenting demand to endure. Ivan's life, from the frozen path of his youth to the quiet ruin of his present, reflects the toll of that demand, the way it shaped not just bodies but souls, not just battles but lives. His rifle, with its carved name, was more than a weapon, it was a symbol of the cycle of war, of lives given and taken, of names remembered and forgotten. His photograph, its edges worn, was a tether to a world lost, a family gone, a boy who no longer existed. His medal, bent and dull, was a lie told by a world that moved on, leaving him to carry the truth alone. As you sit by your window, the night air soft against your skin, consider the contrast between Ivan's world and your own. You are here in this moment, surrounded by the quiet comforts of the present, the warmth of a blanket, the glow of a lamp, the knowledge that the war is a distant memory, its echoes confined to the pages of history. Ivan's life, with its frost and silence, its loss and solitude, is a story from another time, a story meant to settle your mind, to guide you toward rest. Let the weight of his journey fade. Let the images of snowy fields and shattered ruins drift away. Let the rhythm of his days clean the rifle. Watch the horizon. Listen to the wind become a gentle lullaby, carrying you closer to sleep. The world outside your window is calm, it sounds soft, its air cool and inviting. You are not Ivan, not bound by his shadows, not tethered to his past. You are here, now, in a place of peace, where the night is yours to rest in, where the stories of the past are but a whisper to ease you into dreams. If you find comfort in these quiet journeys through history, in the slow unfolding of lives like Ivan's, you might wish to join us again, to let our stories carry you through the night. Consider subscribing to Boring History for Sleep, a gentle invitation to return to these tales, to let them weave through your evenings, to let them guide you toward rest with the soft cadence of the past. For now, let your eyes close. If they haven't already, let your breath slow. Let the night take you. Ivan's story is complete, his shadows left to the snow, his silence a part of history's vast quiet. You are here, in the warmth of your own moment, and the world is still, ready to carry you into sleep. This conclusion has reflected on Ivan's journey from the frozen fields of his youth to the quiet ruin of his present, and offered a gentle contrast between his world and yours, a reminder of the peace you rest in now. Let the story fade, let the night embrace you, and let sleep come softly. As the past recedes into the distance,